check. 1, 2, 1. 1 and 2. And G-Bus Louis-Bus. I am sweating, bro. This is why I'm wearing a black shirt. So I don't want to talk about how many times I've tried recording this. I'm a bit embarrassed, but it's okay. I'm being real professional today with this new teleprompter. So hopefully shit ain't getting weird, but we'll find out, I guess. Let's do it, dude. Hi, friends. I hope you're doing well and having a great day so far. We're back, baby. Today, we are talking about the first set of 5 codependent self-esteem patterns. Just a reminder that I am not a licensed professional. This is truly just my experience of the patterns, so please take what is irrelevant and leave the rest. Also, there is no shame in asking for help. So I've put a link down in the description for a place to find a therapist to chat with. Let's discuss. The first pattern is have difficulty making decisions. This is something that's still a major challenge in my life and might resonate with a lot of you. When you're constantly second guessing yourself and feeling insecure, even the simplest decisions can feel overwhelming. I used to get stuck in loops of researching, comparing, and contrasting data because I was terrified of making the wrong choice. I'd be paralyzed by the fear of consequences and how my decisions might affect others. But I've learned to manage it by giving myself a set time to indulge in research and then forcing myself to stop and make a choice by a deadline. Honestly, some of the best lessons I've learned came from mistakes, and now I can sometimes look forward to the lessons that mistakes bring. In the past, I relied on others to validate my decisions. A tiered list of people, from my mom to my current partner to my therapist and even to Google. I avoided responsibility because making decisions felt like a huge burden. But now I've started to trust myself more. I bring questions into meditation, listen to my intuition, and sometimes even use tarot cards or ask Alexa to flip a coin. Once I made a few big decisions on my own and saw that nothing bad happened, I started building trust in myself and decision-making got a lot easier. Are they landing the plane on my house? Jesus. Growing up, I wasn't really encouraged to make decisions. My parents would do a lot of making decisions for me, which left me feeling like they doubted my ability to make good decisions, and ultimately made me believe the same thing. I'd stay in harmful situations just to avoid making a choice that might upset someone or mess with my stability. This is truly something that has been relevant in my current life. I am really making some big life decisions right now, and it is scary as shit because I don't have any of those things to rely on. I have no partner, I have no parents, I have no Google, I have my therapist, but she would be like, I'm not making decisions for you. So I really only have myself and the support system that I have built. So if you're struggling with decision making, I want you to know that you're not alone. Start small, build your confidence, and remember that making mistakes is part of the process. Trusting yourself takes time, but it is absolutely possible. The second pattern is judge what they think, say, or do harshly as never good enough. Many people with codependency struggle with the belief that nothing they think, say, or do is ever good enough. This often stems from perfectionism, where unrealistic standards lead to constant self-criticism and a harsh inner voice. They might overanalyze situations, replaying them in their minds, and focusing on what they could have done better. This cycle of judgment is closely tied to low self-worth, making it really hard to celebrate successes or feel deserving of recognition. In my experience, I've battled with this pattern of perfectionism and self-criticism. I used to replay conversations and decisions over and over, thinking about how I would have done things differently. My inner critic is often very loud, but I've learned to recognize when that voice sounds like someone else's judgment and not my own. By focusing on creating instead of ruminating and learning to distinguish between real self-reflection and unnecessary self-criticism, I have slowly started shifting away from this pattern. It's been a journey of learning to show myself compassion, embracing my mistakes as part of growth, and actively trying to trust my own voice more than the critical one in my head. The third pattern is are embarrassed to receive recognition, praise, or or gifts. This discomfort often comes from a fear of being seen or standing out, as they may feel safer blending into the background. Even though they may work hard and know they deserve recognition, the fear of being in the spotlight can outweigh their desire for it. This feeling is often tied to past experiences like bullying or being let down by people who pretended to be kind but later betrayed their trust. In my experience, receiving praise can feel unnatural. It's like I know I deserve it, but I often fear that someone will come and tell me I don't. I have also struggled with believing in others' kindness because of past betrayals. Additionally, when I do receive recognition, I sometimes feel pressure to live up to it or give something back immediately. It's taken time to realize that I don't have to minimize my achievements or overcompensate. It's okay to accept praise for the hard work I've done. The fourth pattern is value others' approval of their thinking, feelings, and behavior over their own. Codependent individuals often value others' approval over their own, leading them to constantly seek validation from outside sources before they can feel confident in their own thoughts, feelings, or actions. This stems from a deep-seated fear of disapproval or rejection, which can cause them to suppress their true beliefs and adopt those of others to avoid conflict. Over time, this people-pleasing behavior can result in a loss of personal identity as they prioritize others' expectations over their own authenticity. In my own life, I realized how much I relied on others, like my therapist or parents, to guide my choices. I even adopted my parents' beliefs without questioning them, feeling obligated to conform to their expectations because they adopted me. This constant self-abandonment left me disconnected from my true self, which has been the biggest part of my self-discovery journey so far. Peeling back the layers of myself that were just reflections of others to reveal my authentic self. I often suppressed my thoughts, fearing rejection or judgment, especially after years of bullying and discrediting. However, through healing, I started rebuilding self-trust and setting boundaries to protect my well-being, allowing me to finally live in alignment with who I truly am, while also giving space for further development and change. The fifth pattern is do not perceive themselves as lovable or worthwhile persons. People with low self-esteem often struggle to see themselves as lovable or deserving of affection, a belief that may be deeply rooted in past experiences like childhood neglect, abuse, or bullying. This sense of inadequacy can lead to seeking external validation from others, desperately trying to please and be useful, in hopes of earning the love they don't feel they deserve. Even when they receive love or compliments, they may doubt its sincerity, pushing people away or sabotaging relationships, reinforcing the belief that they are unworthy. For me, growing up with emotionally manipulative parents and experiencing bullying made me internalize the idea that I wasn't good enough. I started my YouTube channel as a teenager just to get the validation I lacked in real life. I'd overcompensate by trying to win over people who disapproved of me, especially around my appearance or identity, hoping to change their minds. Even in relationships, I'd stay out of fear of abandonment, believing I wouldn't find love elsewhere. It's taken a lot of work to break free from this cycle and recognize my worth, just as I am, without having to do or be anyone different beyond how others see me. Sixth pattern is seek recognition and praise to overcome feeling less than. For those struggling with low self-worth, seeking constant recognition and praise can feel like a necessary fix for feelings of inadequacy. This pattern often stems from deep-seated beliefs of being less than others and can drive a dependence on external validation to feel valuable. Praise provides a temporary boost, but the underlying insecurity remains, leading to a cycle of craving more acknowledgement and overachieving to prove worth. For me, growing up with backhanded compliments and a belief that I didn't measure up made me crave validation. At my job at Google, the excessive praise felt addictive and was a key reason I stayed longer than I might have otherwise. My internal critic constantly tore my work apart, so any recognition was a precious relief. This need for external validation was also a way to avoid confronting deeper insecurities and emotional pain, which I wasn't taught to understand or manage growing up. Nice work, dude. Wow, that went by a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. You've made it to the end of the first part of the self-esteem patterns. In the next video, we'll go over the second part of the self-esteem patterns. If you relate to this struggle bus, remember that true self-worth comes from within. It's a journey to build self-compassion and recognize your own value beyond external praise. So be gentle with yourself. Celebrate progress, not perfection, and love yourself in every state along the way. Before you head out, in the comments, share one decision you made recently, big or small, that you're proud of. It could be as simple as choosing what to have for breakfast or making a life-changing move. No matter how tiny or grand, I want to hear it. And here's the twist. In your comment, give it a fun, creative title like you're naming a movie about your life. Let's celebrate those wins together and remind ourselves that even the smallest choices matter. I cannot wait to see what you come up with. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ding dong the bell for more content on codependency and other self-development topics. Until I see you guys next time, be well, friends.